Hey guys, sorry about that, but my battery just went. I'm just gonna move because, oh, I'm plugged in. So hang on, let me just shut down. So I've just had to just flick over to my laptop. 2 seconds, let me just shut this down. Now, just to prove a point, there will be people out there right now that will say that I was just literally, prior to that live feed going, I was just talking about the fact that people don't have the power that they think they have. Now, there'll be a lot of people out there that will go, the devil doesn't like it. Oh, the conspiracy theories will go, oh my goodness, she was about to say something really important. And oh, government have shut her down. And oh my word, her internet's just been flicked off. No, I'm irresponsible. I knew that my battery needed charging. I'd unplugged my battery to show you the pictures and my battery went dead. It's as simple as that. So I've just literally flicked over. So if you were catching up with what I was saying earlier on, I'm speaking out because obviously today is a very emotional day for me. And, you know, my way of coping with that is to throw myself into work, throw myself in. Both my boys are asleep. You know, I could sit here and mourn over the fact that, you know, my relationship with Dean is just not working. And it's not even about the fact that the two of us are not in love with each other. It's just the fact that I can't leave this cause, and I'm not willing to let go of this stuff, because I do believe that it's my job, it's my purpose. I'm not paid by government. I don't work for government. I don't work for the police. I don't work for the NHS. I don't work for the state. I don't work for anybody. I just believe that I have done enough research on this now, and I believe that I have many solutions that can be brought forward that can change this system to work for people. Now, people can sit there and go, I know, but it's designed this way, and it's all part of this, a big conspiracy that they want to deplete the population. It's all about, what do they call it? Gentrification. It's the spiritual warfare going on. But at the end of the day, once people realize that the power sits with them, that, you know, you have your own relationship with the Creator and Mother Earth. I can't give you the proof and the truth and the facts that there is a greater power than us. All I can say is I don't do this in my own strength. There is no way that one single mother with an absolute battered body, with 2 children to raise, as well as my other 4 children to deal with, as well as the house to run. My vocal cords, obviously, as you can hear, need to be healing. I'm still continuing to speak, even though I should be resting my voice. I'm having to break through barriers every day another barrier, every day another barrier. I believe that Dean is a really, really good man. But obviously we've got to a point now where we are arguing so much that we're being really nasty with each other and hurting each other. And obviously we've got 2 little boys here. And it's all about trust. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about loyalty. It's all about having the right people around you. And, you know, I'm not interested in people that want to go out and bash people because they're gay, or kick off with people because they think this is the right way to go, taking the gates off. And I've mentioned it myself back in 2014. I was so angry, I would have taken the gates of Parliament off. You know, it's not the way to move forward. But if one by one, we all take back our heart, minds and souls, we all accept that there is a set of rules and guidelines that go on, and there is a better way of running things. We all need a roof over our head. We all need transportation. We all need to be able to get around. We all need to be able to eat. We all need to be able to provide ourselves with the basic needs for us. If you're massive and you're fat, and I'm going to be really horrible and Amber, I'm sorry, because you know how I feel about health and stuff like that. You know, if you are self-harming yourself, if you are causing, the only reason I'm saying this is because of diabetes, yeah? You know, if you are getting yourself to a point where your body is packing up, then you have to take responsibility for that. You have to take responsibility for your own health. Now, we are not doctors, we are not people, but your own body is self-healing. You have the answers inside of you. You don't need to get the answers from people out there. We don't need to be turning to the system to asking for help. I mean, who really seriously wants to sit on £142 every 2 weeks on job seekers and have their rent paid for them? That is no life. Like, seriously, it's no life. I've got friends who their lunch costs more than somebody gets on benefits a week, even a month. You know, money is just like, it is what it is. It's just a piece of paper. It's that gap between that relationship between me and you. Now, I could sit here and say, I have information to share with you. I have things. I'm just going to risk it, and I'm just going to take my charger out because it's so dark here just to move into the kitchen. And I'm not going to fast around getting my plug because the PC's crashed on us now. But we only got it from Free Cycle, so it's done its purpose. Brought a car for 250 quid that's just crashed on us as well. So, you know, it is what it is, and life is the way it is at the moment. But this is because I'm working on my own self-worth as well, my own integrity, my own personal development and my own journey, because tomorrow I want to be in a better place than I am today. The next day after that, I want to be in a better place than I am now. I certainly don't want to go backwards. I've opened dialogue with my dad. It's going to be a hard journey for me, but I'm the sort of person that if my dad pisses me off, I'll take it out on you guys. If Dean is causing me aggro, then I'm likely to go and take it out on the person out on the streets, and I've got to learn to deal with this. You know, whether what me and Dean are going through is right or not, one thing that is true is when Dean presents me with a false accusation, I become reactive, and I've got to start becoming proactive. If all of a sudden I'm speaking to you now and I start getting messages going, what a load of shit, what the fuck are you listening for? It can hit me here, right? And I could literally just flick off. But you've got to learn to carry on with your message, carry on speaking your truth while the haters are throwing arrows at you, and you've got to stand firm. Like, seriously stand firm and not react to this stuff, not let them take your joy away, not let them bang you down, not let them put you in a dark place, not let them force you into depression. If you feel depressed, then it means that you're so self-centered and you can't see the way out of a situation, and you are so focused on everything that is wrong in your life right now. And you've probably got a lot of people around you who you can't do something. If you've been diagnosed with borderline personality, it means that you don't know yourself, that you're struggling to have an identification with your own oneself. It means that you're so up and down that, you know, you can fall into places. It's because you don't have the confidence to do what it is that you know that you're passionate about. It's exactly the same with bipolar. With bipolar, it is just somebody who has a passion. They're usually creative, and they don't have this and this working together, and it gets them going. Heart loves this, shuts the heart down, roller coaster, up, down, so your hormones are all over the place. Do they believe in themselves? Do they not believe in themselves? You know, if you have been diagnosed with multiple personalities, it's because in one direction you may be able to deal with this person in this way, but you might need to put on a front for this. You know, you may have these different alter egos within yourself, and you found it very... When I was an escort, yeah, I had me, Kelly, my life, but when I was doing what I was doing behind closed doors, I had a different name and I had a different persona, because I couldn't have coped with that situation without putting that front on. if, say now, one thing that people are starting to realise is I'm consistent with every group that I'm in, whether I'm in forced adoption, whether I'm in Step Up Britain, whether I'm here. My message is still clear. Everything is still straight. Okay, it might not be clear to you, but it will reveal itself. So all these labels and all these things that we're being given is just so people can fill out a form. I'll show you something before I go, right? Elijah and Shiloh, right, have got their 6-month and their 22-month developmental check coming up, right? Oh, so you're doing things backwards, it's nightmare. So they've got these coming up, right? And that's basically so they can monitor their progress. Are my children developing forward? Is there anything that obviously I could be doing? Now, I'm quite looking forward to this because Elijah is 2 on the 17th of July. He walks, he talks, he can tell you every single colour, he can tell you the numbers, he can tell you the alphabet, he can ask you questions, he can understand your emotions and feelings. He knows if you're happy or if you're sad. He knows if he doesn't like something. He can tell you, he can express himself, and he's not even 2 yet. Now that's the difference between a child watching Teletubbies and obviously Mr. Blippi rules. And we love Mr. Blippi. Mr. Blippi is ace, even though, you know, there's a couple of things, and I'm not into Halloween and all that sort of stuff. But most people don't think about their own personal development. Most people don't think about their own needs. We just literally, if something doesn't work within our body, we go to the doctors, we get this label. If we're going through something, if we share our feelings, if we speak to something, everything's been dealt with through medication and labeling. If you go back to the video, if you've been watching, then obviously, you know, it all comes together at some point. At some point, this is all going to click for you on why I'm doing this and what this is about, why I'm using social media, what this is all working towards. And don't think I don't have an agenda, because I do. Nobody is truly altruistic. Nobody ever does anything for nothing. You know, and I'm certainly not that either. I'm not perfect. I get things wrong. I make mistakes. I'm not always good at putting my hand up and saying sorry, but I'm learning, and I do say sorry. But at the moment, I need to protect my space. My partner or ex-partner can't cope with this, and FEA and everything is too important. I need to be up in Manchester on Wednesday. It's vital that I'm there. It's vital that I say what I've got to say, because at the end of the day, they will have their own set of thinking, their own processes, but they can't get the true picture of what's going on until they speak with us, until they know what's going on. They've only spoken to 56 parents. You know, adoption has been going on for ages. And at the end of the day, you know, we were born to 2 parents, and you know, the only reason that the majority of people are ending up damaged is because of that relationship with their own parents. And even if I know people who have been raped and sexually abused by their own parents, that have gone to counselling and actually have a healthy relationship with the people that abused them. But we live in a society where we separate things, where we separate the problems, where we separate, you know, things, and we don't ever come together. You know, if you have an issue at work, then you probably come home and talk to your partner about it. If your partner's pissing you off, you probably go and speak to your friends about it. If your friends are doing you nutting, you might say something to a complete stranger down the road. And nobody ever comes to each other and talks to each other about what's going on and builds those bridges with each other. I mean, look at Donald Trump. He's building walls everywhere. But what he's doing is he's going, hang on a minute, yeah, and people need to remember what he's doing. Yeah, this is a short-term solution to a problem. You know, Donald Trump knows what he's doing. He's a businessman, And at the end of the day, government is a business. The NHS is a business. Facebook is a business. Your life is a business. The house that you live in is a business. The car that you drive is a business. It is about somebody making money and getting profit from you so they can pay for their house, their car, their private health, you know, and pretty much to tell government what to do, because government isn't the person that makes the decisions. They're the people that speak, but they're not the decision makers. In fact, we actually have an undercover government it's called the closed closet secret government, and they're actually the people that make the rules in here, but they can only abide these rules when you abide to them. And you know, we do need to protect ourselves, we do need to safeguard ourselves, we do need to start really thinking about protecting our own families, protecting our space, making sure that, you know, even now I could get a phone call off one of you guys. I don't know who you are. I don't even know who's watching me right now. Yeah, you know, I don't even, and you're in my home. You know, this is my home, this is my personal space. You know, you're in my circle, and I don't know who you are. I don't know, when I share my information, who's watching, what's going on. I don't know who, if somebody rings me and tells me that, you know, they're having their child taken, until I see that threshold document. And I don't even know if that threshold document is really true. So we do have to really think about this now on, you know, and it's not about hating people. I don't believe in hating people. It's about safeguarding, it's about protecting, it's about having safe boundaries, look, the devil wants you to tolerate things. That is his weapon, tolerance. That you will tolerate what's going on, that you will tolerate levels of abuse that is not acceptable, that you will tolerate how somebody speaks to you, that you will tolerate what's going on in this world right now. He wants an absolute tolerance, that people will walk by and watch what's going on. Because at the end of the day, like I said on the previous videos, nobody can decide what somebody does. If I want to sit here and ramble and chat and go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, that's my choice to do so. Whether you choose to sit and watch is up to you. What you take from this is not my responsibility. What I say is my responsibility. What your opinion and perception of it is yours. You chose to sit here, you chose to listen to what I'm saying, and you're choosing to either use the information to help yourself in some way, or to think, what is this fucking rambling idiot on about? And it's my choice to decide whether I care what you think. You know, if I believe that what I'm doing is right, if I get a buzz out of this, and I do, I really do, I get a buzz of getting out of my head, I get a buzz out of speaking, I get a buzz out of sitting on social media every day and seeing more and more and more pictures of children back with their families. And it's all because they've changed the way they deal with the system. I've told you from day one, you don't need to turn to the services, okay? We are able to be independent ourselves as individuals. Our countries are able to be independent. Adina and a load of people did the maths, right? And they worked out that with all of the money from federal system that's already been printed out, with the money that's in surplus right now that exists, that has already been created and printed, that every single person in the world could have £1,722 a week to themselves, and we could actually live very, you know, everybody's needs being met. But obviously we live in a world of greed. Everybody wants more. Everybody's more focused on what somebody else has got. I got the most shittiest clapped out car, right? I mean, she is an absolute, like, bless my little baby car, right? But that car will still get me up to Manchester? Well, actually, I don't know. It might not, but it might overheat. But we're going to be nice to the car. But it serves its purpose right now. Would I love to be riling up there in my Freelander? Yeah, of course I am. But what car I drive shouldn't change you. Doesn't change you. It's not about, hey, look at me and my Porsche. I freaking hate Porsches, by the way. You know, your house doesn't define you. You know, if you could live in a 5-bedroom farmhouse and have me, I could live in a 5-bedroom farmhouse. I'd need bigger than that with what I'm doing, but Freelander, and walk through your gates. It doesn't change who you are. Whether you're living on the streets or whether you're living in a massive big house, you should still have integrity. You should still have true self-worth, true heart, and still doing what you love. But unfortunately, the majority of people are more focused on making money and having things than who they are meant to be. Your character, your identity, your personality. These again are all labels. My message is just do what you love, and the Lord will provide you with your food, your basic needs, your home. Yes, you can design it. Don't follow these prosperity gods, yeah? You know, that's the devil's work. Whether you want to believe it or not, the devil's greatest trick was to convince you that he wasn't real. He wants you to tolerate it. He wants you to walk down the street and listen to it and think that it is acceptable for the way that our world is going right now. I don't tolerate it. I can't sit back and watch parents crack their children around the head, call them stupid, see the consequences and the effects of children walking around in black coats, black jackets, hiding under black hoodies, effing and blinding and having to stomp their ground because actually these children are scared. These children are having to defend themselves on the streets. Girls are having to protect themselves on the streets. Our children have been so influenced with so much crap that it's unbelievable. And come back to pride again. Pride is the hardest sin to beat. Pride is your greatest fall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and no, they couldn't put him back together again. Pride. Pride is horrible. Humble yourselves. Humble yourselves. I'm sorry, and I've said it. I said it to the LGBT. I said it to the other people. Congratulations. Well done for the rights that you're getting. Well done that you're able to, you know, get married. But at the end of the day, pride is not about standing with a tank cannon, ejaculating what you believe to be semen all over Downing Street. Having gay rights is not about prancing little children around, because what they're trying to do is gender neutralize your children. We are spiritual beings. We are. Our spirit is gender neutralized, whether you want to believe that or not. But we stand in a male or female body. We're not put in the wrong bodies. That is programming that is going on to try to make you feel that you're wrong. Seriously, the world is so screwed up right now, and we've got to arm ourselves with this. We've got to tool ourselves up. We've got to deal with this, and we've got to take back our own heart, minds and souls and scrub these belief systems that we've been given, and start speaking our own truth and start collaborating together, because this is our planet, this is our world. But I tell you what, the Lord, he will wipe us off this face of the earth in seconds. The council have already made their decision, and this world is coming to an end, whether we like it or not. I don't know if it's going to happen in my time while I'm still here on the planet, but I'd like to think that before I leave this world, that I have been part of people that have built a new platform for our future generation, that we've provided the tools for our future human beings that are going to be here to make sure that they can make this place a better place than we have. Because it's sad. I've got 2 little boys in that bedroom right now who I've got to take out of these front doors, who have got to listen to these kids outside with cunt, shit face, fucking wanker swearing going on outside my house, that if I open the windows, they hear that on a daily basis. So if I've then got a 2-year-old who's then walking around saying fuck, shit, cunting stuff, One, I've got a responsibility because I'm their parent and I do swear. So if I choose to swear around my children, then I choose to accept that my children are going to pick up those words. If I'm choosing to live here right now, and I haven't had much of a choice in the meantime, because obviously, you know, we started with nothing. I am so grateful to our country. I am so grateful to our council. I am so grateful to our Department and Working Pensions, because the reality is, me and Dean were not in a situation at that particular point to provide for our son. We were not in a situation to provide for ourselves. We have been through so much trauma, been absolutely swept left, right and centre. We've lost everything that we've ever had. You know, we're 40 having to start from scratch. And I am grateful to this system. You know, at the end of the day, we came to Portsmouth and they have provided us with a home. They've given us an income. You know, they've helped us, you know, sort of keep our son. They've worked hard to make sure that we can keep our son, both of our boys. You know, at a point when, you know, I'm getting, and actually even getting removed by the police, you know, at the end of the day, I'd only just had that information shared with me about this woman who claims that she was with Dean. You know, getting arrested, and it was probably a good thing, because I have no idea where my reaction would have gone with that. You know, it might be Babylon, it might be, but at the end of the day, we are individuals out of control right now, in chaos. Even me, I'm going through so much pain and so much healing and dealing with so much trauma, that who I am right now is not going to be where I am next year, because I'm still healing. I still haven't stepped into my true identity yet, because it got completely stripped away from me, and I allowed that to happen. I allowed for my children to be taken. I didn't physically say, hey, I don't want my children here, take them. But at the end of the day, I allowed that police officer to put me in a state of fear and coerce me into handing my children over. I allowed myself to be manipulated, and I allowed myself to be standing in that court getting really upset by the information that was being presented to me. And I cut my own nose off to spite my fucking face. And the trauma and the pain and the emotions that I went through, only I am in control of. But at the end of the day, we have a right to react. If my child had been stolen off the streets, nobody would have ever have had any concerns to watching me on telly, breaking down, crying where my child was. But when you're in this situation, it's a bit different. You can't react in those sort of ways. But you know, anyway, I'm boring myself now, and I've heard myself talk for a little bit too long. And I'm so grateful to you guys for giving me this space to do so, because once I'd put the two babies to bed, you know, I don't have the stuff that I need in this house. I had a dance, I used dancing and aerobics as my way of breaking out and expressing myself, and painting. I've been painting with Elijah. But I'm literally going on a massive health kick. I just want to grab something before I go. I thought it was in the bathroom, and after this, it was actually stood behind me. I'm working through Chris Tuck's book at the moment, and it's not stuff that I don't know. It's just helping me hold myself accountable and breaking the cycle. I'm not a survivor, I'm a thriver, but I'm still dealing with some form of trauma for it. Of course I am. You know, stuff that happened to me as a child still affects me as an adult now, which is why it is so important that we raise children to be the healthy adults that they're meant to be, and not adults healing. But one thing Chris has reminded me in her book is how important, see how this camera's do made it, how important health is. So if you have been through sexual abuse, then please do go over and follow Chris Tuck and get a copy of her book. It's $7.99. I was very, very, very privileged that Chris actually sent me both of her books, because obviously Chris and I collaborate and we're helping each other out with some stuff. So I actually, yay, see, ego. I have, you know, nice little. So I, you know, I really very, 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 very much appreciate that Chris has done this. And I think what I might do actually is help Chris maybe put some bits online so she can have some free information. We've all got to work, people. We've all got children to feed. You know, I can pick this apple off a tree. I can plant a seed and that apple can grow, and I can live and have as many apples as I like, or I've got to go to the shop and buy it. And I'm trying to get into a position where I can live quite prosperous off of my own land, and grow my own fruit and veg and provide for my family off the grid. But I can't live in this whole world where you take land and you're getting arrested and things like that. But anyway, I don't know Chris's beliefs. From what I get from this, I don't think there is a Christian belief. The only way you're going to really heal is through Christ himself. But I can't tell you that, because it has to be for you to find that place. I can tell you my testimony. I can tell you that through Christ, he strengthens me. I don't do this in my own strength. Whatever I do, I pray to the Lord. Yes, it gets interfered. Yes, I have a lot of pagan stuff about me. Yes, I have a lot of witch stuff about me. And if I'm a witch, then I might have to accept that. I spoke to somebody the other day who says, yes, you are. You're a witch. And if that's who I am, that's who I am. Burn me on the stake. Somebody told me that actually it's just because I'm a naturopath. And that's sort of what I'm trying to push. That, you know, our world has become so poisoned that we've got to educate ourselves. But anyway, one thing that Chris's book reminded me is I've been in a really negative cycle for the last couple of years, and I need to break that cycle. And Dean tells me that I need to break my chains. I think because of my relationship with my dad, and you know, my mom and all of that, it's changed who I am, and it's put me in a very different place of feeling the loss and grief. And grief is a really hard thing to deal with.